What's up, my friends? Welcome to another video. I'm Rob Stuart and I'm here to help you get your skin and your overall health back on track. It's a common belief in the vegan community that meat, just good old-fashioned meat, we're talking beef, salmon, turkey, chicken, across the board, is all inflammatory no matter what. This is a very, very common belief, and it's one that at a certain point I almost believed full-heartedly. Movies like Game Changers and YouTube personalities, Instagram personalities are all kind of propagating this information as if it's truth and that if it's the bottom line and that it's science. My experience on a meat-focused diet has been the absolute opposite. It, for me, has been the most anti-inflammatory diet I have ever experienced in my life. And in today's video, I want to share with you guys my experience and that experience of the people that I work with, my clients, the people I consult with, who are eating a meat-based, bioavailable, food-focused diet. Are we having inflammation issues, and has our inflammatory diseases improved from eating what vegans think is an inflammatory food? Stay tuned. Okay, so now comes the time, before I get into the meat of this video, if you will, just to connect with you guys and ask you for a favor. If you like this content, if it's helping you, if it's inspiring you, if it's informing you in any way, please hit the notification bell, please hit the subscription button, please hit the like. It really helps the cause. And my cause, to be very straightforward, is to help every single person with skin disease have a way out of that hell. This is my experience and my perspective, so I'm sharing with you guys my experience and the experience of the human beings I have worked with. I am not parroting some YouTube personality. I'm not parroting some keto or carnivore or vegan doctor, and I'm certainly not relying upon cherry-picked research to prove my points of this video, because in this day and age, scientific research, peer-reviewed research, Western medicine is absolutely part of the corporate pharmaceutical drug dealing system, that which does not even focus on healing, that which does not even focus on helping people, but it's all about making money by selling products and selling drugs to people. So no, nothing in this video is coming from some BS cherry-picked research that I found on the internet. So one thing I think that everyone can agree upon, vegans, plant-based eaters, keto people, carnivore people, every single type of nutritional science agrees upon this, that if your digestion and your gut health is on point, is super, super healthy, then the inflammation in your body will be pretty non-existent. So the key to reducing the body's inflammatory markers is by focusing on healing the gut and the digestion. If you heal your gut and your digestion, you will also heal all of your inflammatory issues. With that said, let's take a look now at how inflammation shows up in the body from your diet and lifestyle, mostly your diet though. So bloating. Bloating is a huge sign of inflammation, and something that you see kind of, again, propagated by the plant-based community. Dr. Kapler put out a video where he was saying that bloating and gas in your gut and digestion and in your stomach and in your body comes from swallowing air. That's completely false. You might have a toot every once in a while that comes from drinking water too fast or eating too fast, and you kind of get some air in there and you burp it out. That's not the same as when you eat a plate full of beans and the inflammation and the gas is so overwhelming that your stomach is swollen, that it gives you the runs or it gives you constipation, that you don't feel good and that you get brain fog. So one of the main inflammatory markers is a bloated, uncomfortable, and unhealthy gut experience when you eat. Either weird inflammation, either strange bloating, gurgling, burgling, diarrhea, or constipation, they are sure signs that your inflammation is out of control in your body and that the food that you're eating is causing major inflammatory response. The key to overcoming skin disease is reducing the body's inflammatory response by focusing on the gut and the digestion. When your gut and digestion is cured, is healthy, is balanced, your skin will show how healthy you are. Another inflammatory response that the body has from eating crappy foods or the wrong foods for you as an individual is hormonal issues. Lack of sex drive, lack of morning woods, lack of just hormonal strength when it comes to working out, when it comes to making love. This one is a very easy one to see. It's very noticeable in the body, and if your hormones are out of whack, it means that your body has a ton of inflammatory responses going on. Another inflammatory response in the body is tooth pain and joint pain. Comes in the form of like tooth decay or little bits of sensitivity in your mouth, or straight up arthritic type of joints when your joints are really not doing well. Your knees, your hips, your elbows, whatever it may be, some Dupuytren's in your hands, some sore fingers, some pain, some swelling in your gums. Every time you floss, they bleed like crazy. This is your body telling you that the inflammation in your body is out of control. So if you are having those responses or responses similar to those when you're eating food, you know your food is triggering a huge inflammatory response. And if you've been eating a certain diet, let's try the vegan diet on for size. If you've been eating the vegan diet, one that is completely void of meat and has no inflammatory foods, according to vegans, then in a month, in 30 days, in 6 months, and in a year for sure, all of your inflammatory markers will have gone completely away. And as most of you guys know who jump on a vegan diet, you might have some success short term, especially if you came from Standard American, but your inflammatory markers will not go away completely. You know, depending on what foods you're eating, especially if you're eating trigger foods, your inflammatory response from those plant foods could go out of control. Mine did, many of my clients do, and over time, one of the easiest ways to start to heal inflammatory responses is to take away anti-nutrient rich plant food. So in my experience, and the people who I work with, their experience reflects mine very, very closely. 30 days after starting a meat-focused diet, carnivore keto diet, one that focused 100% on bioavailable animal foods, my inflammatory markers, the ones that I listed earlier in this video, were completely gone. 6 months into the diet, my entire body was completely healed from the vegan diet and feeling more amazing than it ever has in my life. And at this point, going on 2 years on the diet, things keep getting better. My health is solidified. My bloating is completely gone. When I eat food, there's no bloating, there's no inflammation, there's no constipation or some days runny poops. It's just eat the foods, the meat. A meat-based diet makes no inflammatory response in my body. My clients are having the same thing happen. So for me, eating a meat-based diet was the most anti-inflammatory diet I've ever been on, and the issues that I had being vegan with my inflammation were totally gone basically 30 days into a strict carnivore diet. Now, one of the issues that people have is their belief in movies like Game Changers, which has all of these under the radar, really hidden messages, and they have a lot of propaganda infused directly into them. They use, famous actors and super good production to kind of rope younger people in, innocent, naive people. All the glitz and the glamour, it's so beautiful and wonderful, save the planet. But what they're actually propagating is that meat causes inflammation and that plant proteins do not, and they will heal you. Why do you think that is? The same people who produce Game Changers are the same people who produce vegan products. They're creating a cash cow industry and fooling you into believing that things like pea protein is going to be anti-inflammatory and something like salmon will be inflammatory. Nothing could be further from the truth. Let's break it down. What is pea protein? What are all vegan protein powders? They are an isolated processed food. What do isolated processed foods do in our body. They cause inflammation. And when you isolate protein from a plant, that which is already hard for the body to assimilate and digest, and you turn it into an isolated nutrient, and then you pour that into the body in large amounts, the body does not know what to do with it. It doesn't digest it well, it doesn't assimilate it well. It also doesn't come to us in a whole food package, one that we can recognize and actually use. When your body takes on protein powders, it causes digestional and gut health issues. If it causes digestional and gut health issues, it also causes inflammatory issues. Meat does not cause inflammatory issues. The protein that I eat from steak does nothing inflammatory to my body whatsoever. It causes no bloating whatsoever. Be honest with yourself. Have you ever in your life just destroyed a protein shake, especially a vegan protein shake, and then afterwards felt nothing happening in your digestion? Every time you have a vegan protein shake, you burp, you have farts, you have bloating, you have weird poops the next day, and your poops smell like the fungus from the bottom of Jesus Christ's sandals. So then, what foods do cause inflammation? Of course, that's going to be slightly different for every single person. We do have specific needs, but avoiding things like seed oils, foods that are trigger foods for dermatitis that have anti-nutrients. I do have a full-length video, the 5 food groups that you should avoid. I'll try to link it at the end of this video. If not, just simply look it up. It has what foods to avoid and some foods that you can center your diet around. At the end of this video, I'll also put up my 20 staple foods video, and all of these 20 staple foods are anti-inflammatory foods. Some of them are plant foods, some of them are not. The takeaway from this video is actually very, very simple. If a food does not heal your gut and digestion, then it causes inflammation. And if a food does not cause inflammation in your gut or your digestion, and it heals all of your inflammatory markers, then that food is not inflammatory. So to heal inflammation, you gotta heal your gut. The truth of the matter is that the only thing that meat inflames is your muscles. All right, you guys, so that's my perspective and my experience on the topic of meat being inflammatory. My experience has been that meat is the opposite of inflammatory. It's the most anti-inflammatory food I've ever tried. You eat it, you digest it, nothing happens, you poop it out the next day, and it's like you didn't even eat anything. Most other foods cannot make that claim, especially vegan foods. If you'd like to get a hold of me to become a private client, Skin Health, there's a link in the description box for a free consultation. You can also find all of my skin health offerings at holistichealthactivation.com, including the 3 Phases workbook. Leave all your comments and questions down below, guys. You can find me on Instagram as Rob Stuart. Thanks so much for watching, and I will be back with many more videos really soon. Have a wonderful week. Bye. For real, the only inflammatory response that you get from eating meat is the inflammation in your wiener when you have a great morning wood.